How you doing this evening, everybody? I thought I'd start this video off filming the beautiful backlit sky after the sunset. I may or may not end up being on the camera. I actually enjoy the conversations that I have with the camera when I'm not facing the camera, because I can look around and do things, and I feel like I'm talking to a person. Anyway, it's been an interesting, wonderful day. Just got back from the park. Kids just finally felt it. They just both passed out on the couch, and so I figured it'd be a good time to come out and make a quick video about something I've been thinking about lately, which is, well, just today anyway. I guess it was earlier. I was thinking about jealousy this morning and coveting others' goods, and it kind of got me thinking about the Ten Commandments. And for those who don't know already, I'm not a Bible follower, so no, I don't believe the Ten Commandments are actually the word of the universe, or the be-all end-all of truth. In fact, when I started to make this video, or when I went to make this video, my original intention was actually to back up the Ten Commandments by showing how they can be related to universal truths and things that basically Christianity was able to put in a form that was easier to understand for the people of the time. But after going back and reading over them again, I realized I can't defend that point at all. You know, one of my favorite comedians was George Carlin. He was my favorite comedian of all time, and I remember him doing his little spiel about the Ten Commandments and how they can be broken down to basically, what was it, 2 commandments? Be good, don't do bad shit, something like that. And, or whatever, don't lie, don't steal, don't hurt anybody, that kind of stuff. When I looked at the first few commandments, I realized that they were the pious ones that were thrown in. You shall not have any God before me, and you shall not have any graven image. It got me thinking about idols, and so I did a little bit of research on the idea of what idols really are and what they really meant in the biblical translations, and basically came to the conclusion that any Christian that wears a cross or has a picture of Jesus in their house is sinning and going completely against the Ten Commandments. And I tried to find a way around that, but there isn't one. In Islam, we all know what happens if you draw a picture of Muhammad. These are based on the same principles. If you trace it back, it has nothing to do with radicalism. It has to do with the idea that God cannot be known or seen or shown, and that to be represented only, it does absolutely no justice to that truth, whatever it may be. And this is the same with giving a name to it. This is why I've always been opposed to, people saying, well, you have to take Jesus. And I say, well, Jesus didn't exist in the time of Jesus. There was no Jesus. But anyway, that was just on the top of my mind, but it really wasn't the subject matter of the video. But what I was trying to do is correlate some of these ideas with with jealousy and envy from other people. It's something I've covered in the past, but I haven't really. I'll put it this way. Let's give you an example. Your friend calls you up, and you find out that he scored it big. He won the lottery or something. You're going to feel good for him. You're going to be happy for him. And I can't speak for others, but whenever something like that happens, a really good thing to someone I love or know, I always find myself a little bit jealous, just a little bit. And it comes and it goes. I acknowledge it and I realize it. I don't wish them ill, and I don't say, oh, I should have that, and I don't think I deserve it. It's a feeling that comes, and I started wondering if it's something that we are given as part of our arsenal. Just like our emotions. Gabe made a video earlier about, he's talking about anger and whether anger is useful. I had somebody tell me once that they've never seen a situation where anger is useful, and I totally disagree. Without anger, people would tread all over others. Without anger, there would be no fear of repercussion for others' actions, and the sociopaths would take over that much quicker. Anger in itself, and let me just put it, if I could give it a metaphor, it's very similar to money. Money is not good or bad. Anger is not good or bad. They're both tools. And money should flow freely through your hands. You shouldn't try to hang on to it. And likewise, anger should flow freely through your body. And years ago, I may have been able to hang on to anger for a few days. But today, I can't even hang on to it for 5 minutes. But I still use the anger when I am angry. It's very rare that I really get mad. It's very, very rare that I actually get mad, and that's because I've trained myself not to be mad. In other words, it's easy to get mad about little things. Say your day's not going the way you want it to be, Well, that's the mental alchemy there. You have the choice to make it a better day. If you wake up in the morning and you spill your coffee all over yourself and you say, oh, this day's going to suck, well, then it's probably going to suck. And perhaps the most useful thing we can do as individuals is to stop telling ourselves bad things and to stop sabotaging ourselves. It becomes an addiction. It's just like fear-mongering. People become addicted to fear, but they also become addicted to self-pity and self-loathing. And by saying, oh, this happened to me, they end up playing the victim. People feel sorry for them, and then they feed off of that. And then they become a victim vampire, if you will. Just like those fear vampires or the emotional vampires or those who are trying to, wreak havoc on others. Anyone who's trying to take their energy from someone else, even if they don't realize they're doing it. And getting people angry is a good way to steal their energy. So I refuse to get angered by people. If a person's not physically abusing me or anyone else, it comes down to sticks and stones. I've been called some of the harshest things you could possibly imagine through my years, and really it just rolls right off because I don't have any points to defend of that. But I don't know. When it comes to jealousy, I guess it's just, I'm not jealous of anyone and I don't want anything. But I think that jealousy in itself can be a launching platform for people to say, okay, I'm jealous because this person has this. How do I attain that to make myself happier? So I guess all I'm trying to say is that instead of looking at jealousy as a sin or something that's evil, look at it as just like anger, jealousy and anger. And they can be used as tools to let us know that there's something in our subconscious that is trying to tell us something. If someone has something and we're jealous, then maybe we want to get that for ourselves. Doesn't mean that we can. Often a lot of things are out of our grasp, but it's just the world we live in. There's the haves and the have-nots. Some people want, some people don't want. Some people don't care what they have. I have very little interest in money and material possessions myself, but do realize that those are also tools. You can let your possessions own you, or you can own your possessions. And likewise, you can decide to let your emotions rule you and let your mind rule you, or you can rule your mind and your emotions. I can only speak for myself and my own psyche, but I'm about 9 times more in control than I was 10 years ago, and I'm hoping I'll be even more in control in another 10 years of my emotions, my anxiety. I used to go through anxiety spells where I would stress about work, stress about home, stress about bills. And one day I woke up and said, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to train myself not to stress. And over the last few years, I've done it. And now I just want to share that with other people to know that you can stop yourself from stressing, stop yourself from being depressed, and stop yourself from wanting what others have, just by knowing who you are, as cheesy as it sounds. It all comes down to love thyself. Namaste.